broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, this is Brian Jenkins from RunSignUp. I'm reaching out to you guys at the Bluegrass Race Director Symposium. Unfortunately, this year I wasn't able to make it out and attend, but I still wanted to share some of the great things that we're doing at RunSignUp and some things that hopefully will help make your race a bit better and maybe take a few things off of your plate. So first, Bob asked me to go over some trends in the industry right now to help you guys better get an understanding of what's going on in the endurance industry right now. RunSignUp is actually in the process, and on February 11th, we're going to be releasing our RunSignUp Trends Report. So what we did is we dug through some of the cool things that we found as we analyzed the 2017 data for all of our participants, which was about 5 million participants, including paper entries last year, and tried to find anything that we found interesting. So first of all, I'm going to flip over to my RunSignUp Trends tab here. We'll take a look at this and go through it. So first thing is going over registration trends. So about 29% of our registrations took place during the week, which is a fairly significant trend increase. We're not exactly sure what that means. It could just mean that some of our promotional tools are driving people to register more during their week. It could just be anything, but that is an interesting stat. So a very large percentage of our registrations take place within 3 days prior to a price increase or when registration closes. This has been a very, very large uptick that we've seen over the 2017 season. So what this means is that you should not be closing registration any longer on Thursday or Friday before your race. What you want to do is coordinate with your timer, and RunSignUp has some great capabilities for timers to be able to pull their data and integrate their scoring software what they use to time your race to make it so that you do not have to close registration at all. And the benefit of this is that you're likely to see more people registering late because it's not great from a sales aspect to click on a button as a participant and not be able to register on Friday night. They may be making kind of an impulse purchase decision, and you want to be available to take that impulse purchase. We continue to see mobile take off. I don't think this is any surprise to anyone. We are seeing upticks in actual conversions off of mobile. We've been hovering around 30 to 33% of all actual paid registrations were on mobile. This year we saw that uptick to about 40%. We think this is going to continue to uptick, which is no surprise to anyone. One of the benefits of the RunSignUp system is that we do take care of mobile for you. So you do not have to worry whether your page works on mobile or whether it's easy for people to check out on mobile. It's something we take care of. The only thing that you may want to think about from a mobile aspect is how many questions are you asking of participants, and do you truly need that data? Because on mobile, the more questions that you ask, the lower percentage conversion you're going to have. So if you're asking 5 extra questions of participants beyond what you need, you may want to think about, is there any way I can remove 1, 2, 3, or all 5 of those questions if they really don't make a difference to you? From a promotion standpoint, so RunSignUp's tool set has quite a number of promotional tools. We're seeing a trend of more and more people utilizing coupon codes. The return on investment, that's what ROI means. So return on investment on that was up to a staggering 340% on used coupons. We also have a referral rewards program. And a referral rewards program is something that you may be very interested in, which is the ability for participants to be rewarded for inviting their friends to come to your race. And if they invite friends to come to your race, you can offer them to say, hey, for every 3 people you refer, we're going to give you $15. And this is something you can totally control. We see a significant increase in the return rate if you offer money versus not offering money. As many races do, if you have a team option or groups option, about 30% of all runners join a group or team. If you decided to add some sort of incentive, like the largest team gets a prize, like a pizza party or something like that, that seems to increase the participation rate with teams. We have a lot of schools that will set up teachers or classrooms, or if it's a school district, pick your school, and these things really take off really well. So if you're picking your school might get a certain number of dollars back for every single person that joins that school team. So continuing on, what we saw in overall trends is we saw a 1.5% increase in registration numbers. Every other report out there is showing a decrease. we can't totally account for why our races are seeing an increase versus the overall trend. The difference primarily seems to be is that we do work with non-traditional races, whether that be a walk or color runs or other, untimed, more fun races, and they were steady or up. And that may kind of buoy some of the races, the traditional races that may have been down in 2017. Also, interestingly, we saw turkey trots this year actually boost up about 5%. So we may have gone through the trough of kind of race participation going down at this point. And it also could be some of our races are using some of our promotional tools that help drive runners to their race. It seems interesting to us. I'm going to show you guys some of the capabilities where you can look at your repeat participant reports, but the 10K was the highest repeat participants, with marathons and ultra marathons kind of having lower repeat participants, which kind of makes sense because a marathon or ultra marathon is a big commitment, whereas a 10K is something you could probably hop into at just about any time if you're kind of a regular 3-4 day a week runner. We did also see the trend of price increasing on races. About $1 for 5Ks was what we saw across the country, to about $26. That's something that I think is going to need to level out, because all of us know who have signed up for a race recently that we are a little annoyed that the price seems to keep going up. That's not totally the race's fault. Many cities and police departments are drastically increasing how much they're charging to secure race sites. So that's kind of an overall trends and what's going on in the industry. I hope you found that helpful. So what I was going to do now is actually show you some of the fun things that we have in the RunSignUp system. And I'm also going to remind you at the end, we do have a great notes pack that we're going to share with you guys that gives you a lot of information that we're going to cover, as well as just something to kind of look at after the meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to my Casa Superhero Run. So every year I kind of use this as an example. I've been on the board of this race for 8 years, and I'm always excited to do this race. We have some really, really great things that we're doing with this race, and because it's my race, I always get to tinker and have fun. So the first thing is we do have a new template option. So you can see we've got kind of a little bit different template than what you guys were accustomed to seeing if you're a RunSignUp customer. We've got this great new kind of, as I hover down, you'll notice that this bar kind of follows me. That's a new option here. You can see the events are nicely grouped together, so it's very easy for them to pick it. And the page just has a more modern feel. And if I hit sign up, just to continue on, we also have a new registration path. This new registration path is kind of following best practices, which is kind of keeping the screen nice and clean and making it easy for the person to continue through. We don't want them necessarily to click out of this and not complete the registration. We're trying to kind of make this a clean, simple process to complete your registration. So going back to the page, so it's like, well, what if I wanted to update my page to this new template? Now, if you're new to RunSignUp and you create a race today, we're automatically going to opt you into this template. But if you wanted to, you could upgrade to this template. So how would I do that? So we've actually changed the name of our race to Superhero Run, but typically this would be labeled Race. So if we click on Race, and then we click on Race Page, and then we click on Race Theme. And so now you can see some of you may be on our legacy template. All you need to do is check the full screen template and you're ready to go. And what you'll notice is there's a bunch of new cool options in here, and you may want to tinker with these to figure out which ones that you like. You can change your color schemes, you can add your race name at the top, you can hide different things. So definitely play with this, see what you like. Also, we've added the capability to add in Facebook feeds. So you can plug in your Facebook page and your Twitter username, and this is automatically going to add columns to your page with your Facebook feed or Twitter feed. And the majority of your races probably have a Facebook username you could drop into this, and so any communication that you're sharing on Facebook would automatically show up on your RunSignUp page. You also have the ability to add a custom tagline. So you can see that the tagline goes here, and you can decide if you'd like to have a race day countdown. And so you can add the text in here, be a superhero for Casa. So, and we can add in our countdown, and so we can hit save on that. And then what's neat is, let's go ahead and refresh that. And now we can see be a superhero for Casa and the countdown to the number of months, days, hours, and minutes till our race. Super fun. If we continue down, some of these things you're accustomed to is just kind of a new theme, is you can set your own custom color scheme. You can upload your logo, and you can upload your banner image. And we've added some new banner images in here. So if you're looking for a new one and you don't have one, the image size on this is 1200 by 400, and it has to be exact. So if you need help, reach out to info@RunSignUp, or there's resizing tools that may help you with that. So I highly encourage you to update your page for this because it just really gives that page a nice look and feel. So to continue on with some interesting new things that you might be, that I would encourage you to take a look at, in our email marketing tools, I would recommend taking a look at our automated email tools. So one of them I recommend every single race turn on is our incomplete registration tools. So what this is doing is it's saying 2 days after you, if you started registering and you didn't complete it, we're automatically going to send that person an email asking them to come back. Now, one of the other things that you could do is say, hey, on 05, let's pull up the calendar here. So on our race is on the 5th, so on the 3rd, we're going to, at 10 a.m., we're going to send one final email out to everyone who's at incomplete registration to remind them that, come to our race. So I definitely recommend turning this on, and it does seem to help remind people that they did start, but they didn't actually finish. And the other one I highly encourage you to use is our price increase email. So what this does is that we know if you put that registration goes up on March 1st, that's when your price increases. So if you turn this on, we will automatically send an email out to your participant list, as well as last year's participants list if you worked with us last year, to say, hey, guess what? We've got a price increase coming up this week. You should register before that price increase. And we'll do this automatically for you. So no more putting calendar reminders on here. You come in here, you turn this on, we say 1 day before the price increase and 7 days, so we're sending 2 notifications out, and we're good to go. Now there's some other automated emails that you might be interested in. The registration follow-up email. You can set up a series of emails based off when the person registers to remind them about what's going on with their race. You also can highlight your sponsors if you upload sponsors into our system. So these are 2 other optional ones, but the incomplete registrations and price increase emails, highly encourage you to utilize those. So on the promotion side, this is where I want to dig into a little bit into our referral tracking program I mentioned earlier in that trends report. So in our promotion tool, you go under promotions and then referral tracking, and you click on setup. What you're going to do then is say, I want to allow referral tracking. I'm going to automatically set up referral codes for Facebook and Twitter and other shared links. And that's going to open up the rules that we can set here for how we want our referrals to work. So we want our referrals to be anyone who signs up for a race before the 3rd of May at 5 p.m. And so we're saying for every 5 people, we will refund $25. And we actually can eliminate this. We can change that to 0 because that's going to basically wipe everyone else's registration balance out. So ensure registration balance, what this means, this confuses everybody, but this is will you allow someone, how much money do they have to have in their registration account? And so I'm saying, well, we'll refund you up to $0. So this may be confusing to you. This is actually one of the things that we're going to include in our notes. And we do have a great webinar that I put together on this, and that will walk you through this step by step. This one is going to always default to 100. In general, you should just leave that. And then you can do this on an event by event basis. So if we didn't want to offer this for the kids race, we could actually eliminate that. But I just set it for all of them because this is just such a great deal for us. The average race is seeing 1,000% return on investment on this. So with all that said, if you set all this up, you should really hype this up to your participants. If participants complain about pricing, you can say, well, guess what? Like, one of my budget items that is difficult for me to manage is marketing. If you promote this race to your friends and get them to register, I'm gonna reward you. Now, the reward of 5 registrations is actually relatively difficult to do. I sometimes encourage people to go down to 3 registrations because that's a little bit more doable. So it's something to consider as to whether someone can actually achieve that or not. So continuing on. What we can do here is, if you're going to use our referral program or not, I still highly recommend that you utilize our social sharing options. And if we scroll down to our social sharing options, at the bottom of the page, this is the most important part. Everything on the top of that page you can ignore. What we want to do is we want to customize our Facebook and Twitter share images. These are literally the images that your participants are sharing to their friends. Super important. This is a free advertisement. So this is the image that we're showing. Very cute. This is our large image, same image, just bigger. I highly recommend looking at the sizings of these images and uploading them. And the reason for that is, again, this is on social media what your participants are seeing. If they don't have an image in here, it's going to pull your logo, which for some races is wonderful, and for other races, a picture, like for our race, our CASA logo is not nearly as cool as the images I just showed you. Now, continuing on, one of the other things that I like about our system is the volunteer system. So you can, at no additional cost, please don't think that we're going to charge you if you turn this on. You can set this up. So we can say we're going to set up a job of packet pickup. The priority is it's high priority. We can put a password on this. Why we'd want to put a password? We might want to lock in a particular task for a group or a corporate sponsor who wants a specific task, so you could put a password on that. In general, you probably don't need it. You can put in information, so such as, you need to be able to handle packets or need to know how to use a laptop or a tablet or something like that. You can leave it blank. It's totally up to you. Location, this is super helpful if you have multiple packet pickup locations or a start and finish line that are in different locations, or even just putting in where they're going to be volunteering. So I kind of encourage you to do that if that's going to be different than the race address. You can also limit ages. So if there's something that's dealing with like where it's going to be 18 and over or 21 and over, that's super helpful. You also can label a task coordinator. So as you get more and more volunteers, you may have someone that's the captain of a particular task. And so you can name that. That gives them access to this particular task without having to give them access to everything. So that's very helpful, and it does send them an email invitation to become the task coordinator for that. Once you set something up in here, so we'll go ahead and hit save. Oh, by the way, you do have a waiver. You can customize that waiver beyond what a normal waiver is for participants. So we're going to hit save and continue. We can then set up time slots. So we can say we need 2 people, max of 4. That starts at 05/04/2018 at 1 p.m. And then that's going to end at 4 p.m. And then we're going to have another one that starts at 4 and goes to 7. So again, that's how you can utilize time slots, as if you have specific names there and time frames. And the last one is categorization. So if you end up having 30, 40 different volunteer tasks that people can sign up for, you might loop together different jobs so that it's more easy for volunteers to find the job that they're looking for. And there are additional really cool things that you can do in our system. So you can run reports. You can look at, okay, right now we don't have anybody signed up for the volunteer. It'll turn yellow if we get a minimum. It'll turn green if we're full. You can then run a report and then download everyone who's signed up for your volunteer into a Excel CSV file. And then if someone emails you or just says, I want to volunteer, and they didn't want to sign up online, you can type them in so your report is up to date. The next one I wanted to highlight is our sponsor tool. This tool is getting more and more utilized. It's a great tool. So you can do lots of different things within our sponsorship tool. You can make it as simple as just uploading logos and names of your sponsors so they're getting visuals on the RunSignUp page, and we track how many times they've been viewed. So check this out. The Bon Secours been viewed 764 times, and we only have 26 registrations right now. So we're definitely getting page views, and that's something we can share with them. And what's neat is that you can use this to invoice sponsors. You can allow them to add offers. You can put notes in here to keep track of like what's going on. You can mark them as paid, tentative, or not decided. So there's lots of neat things that you can do in here to keep track of all of your sponsors. But at a minimum, I just recommend putting your logos in here. If you'd like to use some of those additional tools, great. The last thing I wanted to go over is our photo platform. So I'm very, very proud of our photo platform. I wanted to show you guys why I'm so happy with this. So at my CASA race here, we take photos. So we go into these photos, we can flip through, look at how great these photos are, and you can load these into our system for free. I know many of you probably take free photos now and put them on Facebook albums. And why do we not want to do that? Well, the reason that we don't want to do that is that you're buying ads on Facebook. And if you load your Facebook photos into their system, yes, participants can find them and tag their friends easily, but the problem is that your race and your sponsors are not getting the page views and the credit for this. Your Facebook page and Facebook is getting the value out of this. So don't give that away for free if you can avoid it. So once you get into here, people can click on their photos and they can check them out. You can decide whether or not you want to put your race logo on here or a sponsor's logo, which is great. People can download these photos. They can share them socially. And the cool thing is that if you load photos into our system, we actually use Google Vision, which is a bot, and Google Vision attempts to tag photos based off the bib numbers that are in RunSignUp. So if you assign bib numbers or your timer assigns bib numbers in RunSignUp, it does attempt to try to tag those. It really depends on how accurate it is. It's not intelligent, so it will tag things like a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. It will tag highway signs. So if you can make bib numbers greater than 1,000, that helps tremendously. Because it will eliminate tagging like a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. And also it helps where you can go into our bib management tool for photos and say, hey, greater than 1,000 is a great number to start with because it's going to ignore all partial reads. So if I have bib number 1,000, but it only reads 100 because my hand is covering up that last zero, it will not be able to partially tag that. So to show you, my daughter actually ran this race. We can look up by name or by bib number. So check this out, bib number 453, there's my daughter right there. So you can look up by name or bib number in the system, and then people can download and share their photos. So this is all included in our system. It's one of the things I encourage people to use the most because just putting this in here gives your sponsors way more page views. It makes your race look extremely professional, and it's something that will make your participants happy. So to summarize, we have lots of great stuff. If you need help, please reach out to info@RunSignUp, or if you have a direct contact at RunSignUp, reach out to them. Let us help you answer questions. Let us help you use the tool. We're getting more and more into the promotions and various other tools beyond just registration. We hope you don't think of us as just your registration management tool. We hope you think of us as your race management tool. We are going to be sharing a bunch of notes and resources after this with, we've got that to Bob, and he's going to give that out to you guys in an email so that you've got some notes on this discussion here. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it. I hope you guys have a great meeting, and I'll see you guys hopefully next year. Thank you.